out. He's pointing the gun, and all of a sudden, I see this woman.
They say it's on every single station. They're saying that Daddy died.
He said there was an accident and your father is no longer with us.
In real life, I'm not like that.
And the Mario test was disgusting.
One night I jumped out of a car doing 60 miles an hour because I was addicted.
Salute, Mob Tube.
Salute, Mob Tube. How's everybody doing today? You know, I think I have to turn that down a little bit because I was listening to it yesterday and it was super loud. In the words of Howard Stern's father, it was overmodulated. So I think because the other night when I had A-Light on, I turned it up loud because people couldn't hear him that well on the phone. So anyway, that's that. What do we got? 22 people? All right. It's an addiction and recovery show, as you guys know. So we'll get what we get. Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong. You know, I actually have the same one in gray and blue, and I have yet to wear it. I actually totally forgot about it till the other day. What's up, Rolex? Let me shout some people out. Mark Thomas, Jason Mikesell, Miss Can't Be Wrong, Lance 33, Dick Goes In Ya, Mike Fleming, Joe C., Rolex and Race Cars, Edward Everett, great golfer. Wow. Okay, I know I got a bad memory, but I feel like I haven't seen you in like a year. Am I wrong? Good to see you, bro. John DeLong. I think I shouted everyone else out. Oh, there's Luca Brazzi, Joseph Montanero. I probably, but I haven't worn it yet. You know, so many polo shirts come in gray. Like, I actually have to, when I go to the store, I have to kind of ignore all the gray shirts because I have so many already. And I love gray, but let me see who else we got. I think I got everybody so far. We only have 26 people, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, I would do these shows if there was one person watching. So I'll give it a few minutes though to get some more people in here. I only scheduled this show. Oh, has he? Okay, my apologies then. I only scheduled this show like less than an hour before I started it because it was a crazy day as usual. So we might not even get our regular crowd, but it's no big deal. We'll see how it goes. If you guys decide you want me to stop it and do a different type of show, I'll do that. Paulie Walnuts, yep. What's up, bro? Always good to see you. Oh, okay. All right. Great golfer. Yeah, I feel like you used to be here all the time, but not so much anymore. Is that really the stand-up guy? Let me see. No, I'm just curious if that's really him because why is he bothering me? Isn't it Tony Pizza over there trashing your wife and family? I barely talk about you. You're irrelevant to me. And you're on a show, douchebag, where I deliberately do not ask for donations. Matter of fact, I encourage against it. Yeah, I didn't think that was him. That would have been strange. I mean, people do things out of nowhere, but yeah. So anyway, you know, I had an idea for today's show. I keep slacking, I guess you could say. There's something I want to do. I don't know if I can get it done, but I have to call the individual who I need for it. Hopefully, I'll remember and I'll call them later. But today, I'm going to be honest with you guys. And this is why it makes it hard for me to do addiction recovery shows the way I want to, twice a week on schedule. I've said plenty of times, what is it, Miss Can't Be Wrong? I can't look right now. I've said plenty of times that, some I don't have a topic for addiction and recovery because, like I said, I'm not a counselor. a guy who suffered with addiction. But if you guys bring stuff up you want to talk about, we'll talk about that stuff. If somebody wants to come on and share, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, I'll do my best and see how long I can go, without any help. Because sometimes if I got something on my mind, I could do a 2-hour, 3-hour addiction recovery show off the top of my head. But other times I'm not really prepared with anything. I don't think about recovery that much. I got to be honest with you. I don't. I guess you could just say I'm fortunate. I don't really have to focus on not using. Not all the time. There's times when I get tempted and I got to sit down and calm myself and then remind myself of some things. But for the most part, I don't think about it that much. Now, okay, Miss Camp, you're on. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's messed up. Trolling somebody's dead mother, real classy. The other day I did have one of those dreams, man. I'll tell you what. That probably would have been a good day to do one of these shows. I don't remember it exactly, but I remember I had a baggie and there was a bunch of stuff in it. Now, I wasn't really a pill guy. I took benzos, but even that was on and off. Sometimes I took them for years at a time, but not the majority of my life. It played no role in my addiction compared to addiction and alcohol. I'm sorry, cocaine and alcohol. But this dream was about me having Xanax in a bag. I know that one of the pills was a Xanax. I don't even remember what the dream was about. I didn't remember when I woke up. I just remembered in the dream I had a bag with Xanax in it. And it fucked me up for a couple of hours. I mean, that shit really, really does get to me. I'm sure you guys go through it too. It really has a way of, I guess you could say, upsetting you, because it plays with your mind. You know what I'm saying? Listen, guys, I do this every now and then. I'm going to do it now. I could generally read the crowd. That's what made me a good DJ. If you want me to restart this show as a regular show, just put a 1 in the chat. I won't take offense. If you want me to just restart this show, we'll do an addiction recovery show another day. Let me know. Sometimes that's what you guys want. Rolex and race cars. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Definitely. It fucks with everything. You ever notice, like, if you're going through any type of benzo withdrawal, even mild, it makes you emotional like a little bitch. I remember I was going through a withdrawal from Ativan once. And my God, I was at the doctor's office and I just broke fucking down. I ain't even gonna lie, in tears for no reason. I was like Robert De Niro and Analyze This. I mean, it was just, and I didn't know why. Even my doctor was like, "This is not like you." And then she refilled my prescription, and within a day or so, I felt fantastic again. Everybody says I'm with you either way, bro. Well, that's a perfect answer. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, Miss Camp, you're wrong. It's miserable. Luca Brazzi says new show. Paulie Walnut says no. All right, you know what, then? I'm not going to start a new show, because if even one person indicates to me that they want this to keep going, then I assume they might not need it, but, maybe it's useful to them at the time. So no offense, guys, but that 2 overrides the rest of the 1s, because it's just important to me. So let's do this. I mean, if we're not really going anywhere, I'll end the show early. No big deal. You shoot the pillows. No. I never did that like Robert De Niro from Analyze This, but I felt like it. Walt Licker, I had a dream about a guy giving me a giant bag of crack rocks. He said they were peeled potatoes, but alas, it was Brickers. Really? What the fuck? I used to know guys that would sell candle wax, bread, take a little piece of white bread, fucking ball it up, put it in the bag in the corner real tight, All types of shit, man. Yes, Miss Can't Be Wrong, I believe it's important. Was on clozapam for over 10 years and quit taking it. Yeah, see, that had to be rough for you, man. Klonopin, holy fuck. That's brutal. I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but I've always been an insomniac. You guys know that. Well, I also had anxiety issues and stuff. So I went to the doctor. I love this guy. Unfortunately, he's not with the company anymore, whatever, that owns all the fucking medical facilities in this goddamn county. Yes, there is one company, WellSpan, that owns every fucking thing. There's one other hospital, Memorial. That's it. That's private. Everything else is WellSpan. So unfortunately, this doctor is not with them anymore. But this guy was the best doctor I ever had. And he would listen to me. A doctor's appointment is supposed to be 20, 30 minutes. It's a quick turnover. It's like the fucking restaurant industry. They want get you out, get a new one in, But this guy would sit me there for an hour. He'd sit with me, I mean, if I had to talk to him about something, and I had talked to him about all types of stuff related to addiction and abuse, everything. And then one day I explained to him the anxiety and the sleeplessness. It's driving me crazy. So he put me on Klonopin. He actually put me on 4 milligrams a day. I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was 2 milligram pills a day. If they make 2 milligram pills. I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was 4 milligrams a day. I would take 2 as soon as I woke up. Or not 2, I'm sorry. I would take 2 milligrams as soon as I woke up and 2 milligrams right before bed. And it helped me sleep, and it was a lifesaver with anxiety and everything. Now, at the time, I believe I had also been using Xanax before I went to the doctor, and I started going through withdrawal. I was taking Xanny bars at work. Like, I could function like nothing. It was like, it just kind of made me feel good. That's it. And then I lost my connect, and I didn't have Xanax anymore. And I would be at work fucking struggling, man. The anxiety you get, the fucking muscle aches from the withdrawal. I had a woman supervisor named Treva who used to take me in the corner and massage my shoulders and my back for me. I never told her why. I just told her I was in pain. So anyway, I think that's part of the reason, too, that I went to my doctor to get this Klonopin, and he put me on it, lifesaver. And he said, listen, I'm not really supposed to be prescribing you this. I got to send you to like a therapist, a psychiatrist, and, he can continue prescribing this to you if he wants to. So I went to this doctor, and this doctor was a real fucking prick, man. And he prescribed me the Klonopin, but there was something else he wanted me to start taking. It was very expensive. Even with my insurance, it was a few $100s or something. And I didn't feel like I needed it. I was there for the fucking Klonopin, He decided that, I guess what he wanted me to do, he's going to keep me on Klonopin just long enough, to the point where I have this other medicine built up in my system, and then he was going to take me off. Something like that. But the next time I went to see him, he said, did you get the medication? I forget what it was. I said, no. All I got was the Klonopin. This guy, I never saw a doctor flip out. This doctor flipped out. I'm not prescribing you no more Klonopin, blah, blah, blah. You were supposed to take, he was a very fucking, he was a narcissist. You could tell. You were supposed to take what I tell you to take. And the reason I say he's a narcissist is one time when I was in his office with him, when he's supposed to be giving me, some sort of therapy, he fucking, he's telling me all about how he's from New York, but he wasn't really a big time doctor there. But since he's from New York, he could come here. And then he's a big fish in a small pond. I mean, just the weirdest shit for a doctor to be talking about. So I already had this guy pegged. You know me. So once he yelled at me, I'm this way, guys, whether you believe it or not. The way I am on here, that's how I am in real life. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't take shit from people. And he started yelling at me, and I went fucking berserk. And you know me, I roasted him in the office about that big fish in a small pond comment, I fucking made an ass out of him. I walk out of his office. I'm yelling at him in front of the receptionist, everything else. And, I left. I get in my car and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do now? I've been on this Klonopin, I don't know, 3 months or something like that. 4 milligrams a day, which is a lot of fucking Klonopin. Okay. I said, how am I going to do this? And I think Xanax is the only benzo stronger than Klonopin. I'm not sure, but it's fucking strong. So the withdrawal is deadly. So I called my other doctor and I said, listen, this motherfucker just kicked me out of his office and he refuses. He cut me off of the Klonopin. I said, what do I do? What do I do, doc? Like, I've been on this 3 months. Well, you know what the withdrawals I'm going to suffer? So he made a deal with me to prescribe me a certain amount for only so long. And then that was it. I was cut off. So, it is what it is. It's probably better off that it happened that way. But, man, that doctor was such a fucking prick. That therapist, oh, my God. Oh, yeah, bro, for sure. I was being an ass, too, wasn't an option. LOL. Oh, okay. Well, now you got me continuing the show anyway. Felt like brain fog for over a year. Yeah, I'm sure. It's tough, man. Benzos are no joke. Joseph Montanero, I knew a guy that used to pass soap off as crack until he got caught. Now he walks with a cane. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because motherfuckers will kill you over that, without a doubt. Walt Liquor, it was weird FBS. The guy was trying to convince me they were potatoes in the tree. I should just take them. I did and started smoking them in the parking lot of Jane Alden's, a store we served at. Holy shit, Walt Liquor. That's a crazy fucking dream. That's who owns Memorial. That's facts. And they own some other shit. I wouldn't say they're big because when I tell you WellSpan owns every fucking thing, I mean, I can't even, they have numerous complexes all over the fucking county where they have every type of doctor, specialist, plastic surgeons, endocrinologists, fucking, cardiologist, preventive cardiology, things like that. Every type of specialist. I mean, it's unreal. But York Hospital at one point was rated like one of the top 100 hospitals in the country, and it was I forget if it was 9th, something like that, on that list. But yeah, man, they own every and Lancaster too. I didn't even know that till I started exploring Lancaster, and I'm like, holy fuck, everything here is WellSpan. I think Adams County too. Crazy, but yeah, UPMC owns Memorial, and I think they have some behavioral, what do you call it? Behavioral. I don't remember. Behavioral health places, shit like that, which WellSpan has too. It's where you go for like addiction issues, one-on-one counseling, group, outpatient rehab, stuff like that, But they also have, obviously psychiatrists, psychologists. Visceral, you mean the pills, the little hydroxyzine? Yeah. Yeah, I was on that in rehab. They put me on that. Yeah, 4 is a lot. Yeah. And this is how use might... See, people wonder, like, I used to say, I'm like fucking Iron Man. When it comes to shit, that's probably why all that cocaine for all those years didn't kill me, or the alcohol, even with the alcohol withdrawal and the seizure. I'm, I don't know, man. It's like I'm made of steel. This is how... I don't want to say the kind of tolerance I have, but this is like how conditioned my body was to this shit, right? I was at work one night on an electric pallet jack, an extended one that you ride on the back of, and I was dropping off this big trough, they call it a tro, whatever, of dough. I mean, I'm talking about like 3,000 pounds of cookie dough. I was putting it into, I forget what you call it, in this little gate, this lift, for the line so they could dump it in the hopper, all that shit. Well, when I backed out, I slightly tapped this like stool thing, like not stool, like a little fucking, I don't know, a little step thing. It was like this big that the woman who worked on the line would use to, push the dough in and all that shit. I just tapped it. She was standing on it. And this woman was a Karen like a motherfucker, just a yenta. I hated this pig always, and she hated me, which is why she made a huge deal out of it. And she told the supervisor, now, they have to send me for a drug test. I'm not going to front, guys. I had just taken 2 milligrams of Klonopin 15 minutes before, if that, So I'm like, and I took it that morning too. I said, I'm finished. This job is gone. There's no way. I go to the fucking Memorial Hospital. That's where they sent me. And I fucking, I take a drug test. And the nurse says, oh, you're good. You're clean. Now I know doctor-patient privilege, whatever you call it. Yeah, basically, like, they can't release any information. I'm drawing a blank as to what you call it, but you know what I'm talking about. I know they can't say anything to anyone. Okay. All her job is to take the test and submit the results. Her job is not to tell anybody shit. So I said to her, that's amazing, because I just took 2 milligrams of Klonopin like an hour ago, And she said, well, listen, depending on how used to it your body is, Klonopin, benzos, whatever, it just doesn't show up. Like if your body's used to it, it metabolizes it quickly, whatever, it just doesn't show up. She said, now, if you were a different person, that 2 milligrams, it would have lit you up. You would have failed this drug test. But apparently for you, it's not the issue. So I had 4 milligrams within, 16 hours or so, but 2 milligrams within like 15 minutes before the so-called accident didn't even show up in my system. So I went back to work that night, kept working. And the funny part is I passed that drug test, the only drug test in 4 years at that company I had to take. The reason I lost that job, and you guys have heard me talk about it, was devastating. That job was my life. That's how I supported my daughter, my household, everything. And I made great money. It was great benefits, everything. One night, this dude is moving this big, like I said, they call it a trough of dough. It's got thousands of pounds of dough in it. Well, when he's moving it, he swings it around like an asshole, and it hits the forklift I'm sitting on. It hits the blade. So I'm like, great, but I didn't think nothing of it. And either did my 2 supervisors. My 2 supervisors, who were actually the, what do you call it? Like basically the department manager and the shift manager, maybe you'd call it. Jesus, I can't even remember anymore. No. Maybe department supervisor and shift supervisor. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. But the biggest supervisor in that shift was one of the people. The other one was just the supervisor of the mixing department, which is where I worked, where we made the dough and shit. So they didn't think nothing of it. They just laughed. You know what I mean? So I nothing happened. We just went back to work as usual. There was this new motherfucker, this new supervisor named Vinny, who I guess was trying to get in good with HR. Well, he saw this. I don't even think it was the next day. I think it was the day after. I get off work and I get a call from HR. You got to come in and talk to us. I said, what the fuck? So I called my 2 supervisors because I was friendly with them. We were friends. I said, Treva, Scott, what's going on? Did you get a call like this? They said, yeah. And they both lived in Baltimore. It's like 9:30 in the morning. Now we got off at 6:30. Now they got to drive fucking back from Baltimore to York. Called us all in at the same time. So they questioned them. Why didn't they give me a drug test? They said, we didn't see any need for it. It wasn't really an accident. Then they came to me. I told the story exactly how it happened. They said, okay, we'll give you, I'm sorry, we're going to investigate it. We'll give you an answer in a couple of days. We'll let you know what we decide. So I was suspended for 3 days while they did the investigation. They didn't call me back until like the 4th day. The 4th day they call me back and they're like, yeah, we have to, what is it? And separate employment, whatever the fuck, They're firing me. Then Treva and Scott call me. They both got fired too. I said, what did you guys get fired for? I was the one in the forklift. Meanwhile, the guy who swung around that fucking tro with all that dough in it, I think he still works there till this day, making like $30 an hour. And he's the one that caused it, okay? So I didn't tell them that, but I'm sure Vinny did. So, yeah, we all got fired. And I said, why did you guys get fired? They said, because we didn't send you for a drug test. I'm like, wow. I said, how do they even know about this? Vinny told them. I wanted to kill that motherfucker. You have no idea. If it was like now, like where I could find out anything about anyone just by using my phone, I would have found out where he lived. And I swear to God, something bad would have happened to that dude. Anyway, sorry to bore you with that story. You used to take 3 sticks a day. Whew. What's that, 6 milligrams? Yeah. My ex was on Klonopin. It really messed with her, I'm sure. 8th or 9th time now is also called hydroxyzine. Yeah. I'm actually prescribed that, but I don't really take it too much, you know? Like I have some, you know, but I don't even refill my prescriptions that often. It's if I'm having terrible anxiety for some reason or something, that would be a good reason. But yeah, it's not addictive. It's not a drug, really. It's an antihistamine. It's like a powerful Benadryl, a little more powerful than Benadryl. I don't know, you guys maybe know more than me, but I'm pretty sure from what I understand. I'm so glad the doctors always shot me down trying to get Xanax scripts. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. It's a lucky thing. Oh, yeah, Al-Qaim Putz, it is, for sure. I am scheduled for acupuncture next month, so I hope it helps me. I hope it helps you, too. I had the option to, in my rehab, you know, we got the free massages once a week, deep tissue massages and stuff, and they had acupuncture, but you had to pay for that. I never tried it. I don't know. I guess I just didn't believe in it at the time, but I probably should have. It's the jacket. I took 2 Xanax one night, went into the city for dinner and drinks, had no memory of what happened that night. A week later, 2 detectives were at my door arresting me for beating up a bodega owner. Oh, that's terrible. I'm telling you, I had a situation like that with a fucking arson. And I feel you, bro. Not just that, but I mean, one time I told you, New Year's Eve, I got in a fight with that dude, beat him up, got arrested outside, totally blacked out. Woke up the next morning in my bed. My keys were gone. My chain was gone. My coat was nowhere to be found. And I didn't have a cell phone. And I didn't have a phone in my apartment. This was like 2000, I think it was New Year's Eve of 2011. 2010 going into 11, I believe. I showed you guys the record once. And I had no idea. Luckily, I walked around my neighborhood, and luckily, on Princess and Richland, there was a fucking payphone in front of this corner store. Bodega, really. So I said, oh, shit. So I called my friend Andrew, who I was with the night before, and he's like, bro, I got all your shit. I guess I took my chain off because I knew I was going to fight the dude. And, you know, my coat was on a chair at a table we had in the club. He took my coat, my fucking keys, everything. I guess they arrested me, took me to central booking, and then took me home. But my wrists were killing me, so I knew I got arrested. Then I get up, and I go to my dresser where I, you know, quite often had some lines cut out, because that's the first thing I want to do, of course. And, oh, no. I don't think I was, no. When I was working there, I wasn't even doing coke. I'm lying. I'm just so used to it being there. No, I got up for whatever reason. I looked at my dresser. Maybe I was looking for my keys, and there was the citation. And I'm like, what the fuck? I open it up. There was 2 actually: public drunkenness and engaging in fighting. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And Andrew had to explain the whole thing to me. I'm like, wow, that's fucking nuts. Terrible feeling, man. The drugs stop physical tension, and that sends a message to the mind that everyone is okay. Then your mind feels at ease. Everything is okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess so. Benzos can be very useful if only taken when needed. Agreed. But I don't know if anybody takes it when just needed. Some people probably do. If you have an extreme anxiety, maybe a fucking 0.5 Xanax, something. A little bit of Ativan, a milligram of Ativan, maybe. I don't even know who Gangsta Boo is. Is that a person? Rapper, I assume. Female rapper? Wow. That's what all the celebrities and shit are dying from now. It's the Jack, yeah. Thank you for becoming a new member. No, great golfer. I probably should have. Wait, what did Miss Can't Be Wrong just send me? That's fucking hilarious. That's funny. I seen people getting called for drug tests, just walked out and quit. They knew they were gonna pop hot. Oh yeah. But I wasn't willing. I was at least gonna take the chance. I love this job, so I said, "Fuck it." If I leave, I lose the job no matter what. But if I go take a drug test, I might pass. And sure enough, I fucking passed. Unbelievable. Thank you for putting that up, Miss Can't Be Wrong. I got to remember to put that in the little runner, the ticker of all my shows. There's that. And yes, let me put this up because Miss Can't Be Wrong always checks me if I'm not on point. There you go. If it works, Miss Can't Be Wrong, you know my memory. I'm not even sure what you mean now. I had 700 of the brand name Klonopin and almost the same amount of Somas in the late 90s. The Klonopins were hollow K-stamped in them. Don't know what milligram those are. Wow. I don't know the milligrams of those. Jesus. 700. I remember when I was in the hotel at one point, I was just buying up Ativan because I was trying to, I told you. You know what I was trying to do while I was in there. It was a slow form of a certain type of death. So I was just buying them up left and right. And at one time I counted them, and I think I had over 300 1 milligram Ativans. Fucking insane. It's a Trullo trifecta. Oh, well, congratulations to you. 17 years sober. That's admirable. That's amazing. Wow. Good for you. Thank you for being here, too. If you're new, welcome. 17 years sober. Congrats. That's fantastic. Oh, the acupuncture. Oh, yeah. Let me know. Because I in rehab, I was hypnotized, for the smoking thing. And I don't know. I think I went a day or two, and then it was like, fuck this. I just want to smoke. But it did work for some people in there. I saw one guy quit completely, and I saw one woman who, according to her, was cured completely of her anxiety, her panic attacks and shit, from a couple of sessions of hypnosis. So didn't work for me, but I will tell you this, hypnosis is one hell of an experience. I mean, you really do. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're asleep, but you're awake at the same time. You know what I mean? Like when you come out of it, at least for me, it was probably the most relaxed I ever felt. It's weird, your whole body. But I also experienced that with meditation too. The guy who hypnotized me was also the meditation coach, I guess you'd call him. And he taught us how to meditate in there. And I can't till this day, my fucking head. I wish I could do it, man. Transcendental meditation. I fucking wish I could master that. I can't. But in there, that motherfucker made me meditate. Like his voice and the shit he was saying. And again, when I came out of it, I was like, like I don't know if you guys are like me, but I'm always kind of tense. If you notice, most of the time my shoulders are always up. That's how I am when I'm walking around. It takes a lot for me to be like, and that's how I was coming out of that. Like even walking around the campus or whatever, I was like so relaxed. I felt like I was in an altered state of consciousness. It was crazy. Really, Jason? Yeah, see, I feel terrible for you, man. See, if I had constant urges to do coke, I would be in the danger zone 100% because, I still got friends. You know what I mean? And I am not far from my city. It would take me, a 15-minute car ride and boom, I'd have it. I told you I only came close once during COVID. I just couldn't take the boredom anymore. I lost, friends during COVID because they couldn't take the boredom anymore. One of them, Marlon, he worked with me at Syncreon. It was his life. He loved that job, man. He loved building motorcycles. It was like his passion. He didn't miss a day of work. He was early for every shift for years. And then COVID happened and the plant shut down. And within a couple of months, he's no longer with us, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Marlon. Soma Shuffle. Yeah, it's like the, what's the Thorazine Shuffle? You see that upstate and shit. Even in the county. I've never been upstate. I'm just saying. I've heard stories. But even in the county, every now and then, depending on how medicated they make a motherfucker. Yeah, Thorazine Shuffle. FPS, what's the cure that certain content creators can get to solve the addiction problem they have with you? I don't want to get into that on this show, but I don't know. They could get a fucking life, I guess. They could finally come to the realization that they're not anywhere near as important to me as I am to them. I mean, that would be the best. That'd be the best first step, probably. When I found out my ex-wife was cheating on me, I went to stay a few days with my stepsis in Huntington Beach. I went through a few wild days down there. I mean, Jesus. I can only imagine, bro. And I'm sorry to hear that happen to you. Fucking finding out your wife's cheating. Jesus. That'll drive a person insane. Unless you hate your wife. Then it might be like the exact break you were looking for. Like, oh, thank God that bitch is gone, Can have her. Here's to my love. In some cases like me, addiction taught me a lot about how to move forward in life. Now I thrive. I thank addiction for that. That's a good way to look at it. Here's to my love. It's a very positive way to look at it. I think I could say the same thing, but not so much about moving forward, about appreciation, because the things, like I said, that I'm grateful for and the things in my life now, just the very fact that I'm clean and sober has taught me how good life can be and how much time I wasted throughout my addiction and how many things I missed out on and how far I set myself back in life. So I don't know if that's the kind of thing you're talking about or if that makes sense, but yeah, it's kind of like you can't experience heaven without going through hell, Don Berlin, my good man, good to see you, buddy. Late to the game, but was here in mind and spirit. Now the body has arrived too. Greetings, everyone, and salutations from down here in the hood. I love Don Berlin, man. Don Berlin, give my best to Kimberly, please. Yes, mine too. We love Kimberly. We do. My mother quit smoking with hypnosis. That's great. It works for some people. She smoked like crazy before she went in, came out like she never smoked. LOL. That's good, man. I know it's worked for people. I know, just for me. But, maybe I got to do it a few times. Who knows? Do you miss Can't Be Wrong? I just can't fucking... I try. I even have... It might be on my older phone, which would be this one. I have this one and this one. I have the meditation coach or whatever you want to call it. It was the guy that was actually the clinical director. Like I said, he also did other things in there, hypnosis, stuff like that. His name was Jack. But there was another woman who did it too. And just as a man, it was even better, the meditation, because you're listening to a woman's soothing voice, Both of them had their, I don't know what you want to call it. like their whole meditation session, whatever. They had it recorded, and they would send you, if you wanted it, they'd send right there after you're done meditation in the class. They would send it to you, so you could download it to your phone, and I have it downloaded somewhere. I miss that place so much. One of the saddest things after my stay at that rehab was like a year later when that place closed, because I would go back and speak at the AA meetings. I would show up for all the alumni get-togethers, reunions, I guess you could say. When I found out that place closed, man, it broke my fucking heart. It sucks. I believe it's opened up as a different rehab now, but I don't know for sure. But one of the people that was in there with me, a sweetheart named Elaine, she texted me one day and said, Clarity Way closed. And I said, oh, that's fucking terrible. But I'm grateful for my time there. Citrullo trifecta. I can only do guided meditation on YouTube. Oh, really? Yeah. I looked for some on there, but again, it didn't really work for me. Oh, same here, Jason. Al Anastasia, how you doing? Another good guy. I got to thank my buddy Anthony Cipollone. I don't know if he participates in these shows, but he sent me, I'll thank him on the later show too. He sent me a nice little cigar case with some Arturo Fuente cigars. And he sent Shanna a couple of really nice gifts. It's a good man. And we appreciate stuff like that. I just got it today, actually, right before I started the show. It was prescribed. You mean prescribed? By the hospital when I got out of there. I haven't tried not to take it to see what happens if I don't take one pill daily. What exactly are you... You're probably talking about Xanax or something, maybe? I'm not sure. Oh, are you talking about the hydroxyzine? See, I'm lost. I'm not sure. Sorry, Sven. The Haldol shuffle, yeah. Cocaine was always my struggle. It still is from time to time. I hear that, bro. And from time to time, I don't know if you mean you relapse from time to time or just the urges. But either way, I wish you luck, bro. And if you're clean and sober now, do your best to stay that way. Do whatever it takes. Cocaine is a motherfucker, man, because it's one of those drugs. Not everybody, but a lot of people, depending on how much they've done in their lives, how used to it their body still is, whatever. They could sneak off and do some coke and nobody will ever know because it won't change anything about them. See, I'm different. I can't really do coke without drinking, especially since this heart thing. So you might not realize I did coke, but you'd realize I've been drinking, But some people, I knew people that never drank. They just did cocaine all the time. Somebody like that, it's hard for them to stay clean because a big part of staying clean is, you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for your family, for so many others, loved ones, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever it may be. And a big part of the reason a lot of people stay clean is because they don't want to disappoint anyone or they don't want to get caught. Maybe they've been given ultimatums, stuff like that. But cocaine is kind of like pills. You can have a hidden addiction, or relapse. You could just go do some coke and nobody will know. Or go take some pills, depending on what you're taking. Nobody will know. It's scary. That's what makes it scary. You drink, listen. I remember people used to say vodka is the alcoholic's preference because you can't smell it. I have no fucking idea till this day where that came from. I mean, you can't smell it. I can. I mean, you ever hear people say that? I don't know where they got that from. You can't smell vodka. Okay. All right. Well, guess what? Let me tell you something I found out the hard way. Cops can. They can smell that shit from a mile away. Even when they're driving past you. Do you go to therapy or talk to someone? It might help. I don't know any. I only went to Sisters of Providence, Detox, and Holyoke. There are places in Springfield. Oh, I'm not sure. You're obviously not talking to me. Yeah, it can be. I had one psychologist when I was young. I told you guys part of the reason for the beginning of my addiction is clinical depression. And there's still stupid people out there who think clinical depression means you're just sad, like you're in a bad mood, like, oh, bad shit's happening. It's not. Clinical depression is a killer. I've seen people's whole lives destroyed by clinical depression. I mean, till this day, one of the girls I used to spend time with, named Tori, her mother, I mean, since we were 16 years old, I mean, for years, and probably still is, from what I heard, still is. I can't say I know for sure because I haven't been to the house like I used to be. But as far as I know, still is. She sits in a corner of that fucking house she lives in. She's taken care of. She barely takes care of herself, bathes, does anything. Everything's got to be done for her. It's like she's crippled. And it is crippling. It can be that bad. It was so bad for me that I would wake up and I thought I had a brain tumor because of, first of all, it makes you think you have. The funniest thing in The Sopranos is, remember, I think it was Tony was talking to Christopher, and Christopher said, maybe I have cancer. And Tony Soprano said to him, what makes you think of that word? Cancer, something like that. And the reason Tony was saying that is because for whatever fucking reason, clinical depression makes you think you have cancer. Everything that goes wrong with you due to your clinical depression in your mind has to be cancer. During my clinical depression, I thought I had cancer of the throat. I thought I had some sort of cancer of the eyes because my clinical depression caused me to have tunnel vision like I never experienced before. I'd be walking in stores when I could even get out of bed and go to a fucking store. And I couldn't see. There's no peripheral vision whatsoever. Insane. It was nuts. I thought I had a lump on my ear once. I swear to you guys. I thought I had cancer of the ear. I was at the doctor all the fucking time. I was such a hypochondriac from clinical depression. But you have no idea what it does to you. I mean, I'd have days where I couldn't leave the bed because you can't. It's like you're crippled. You don't have the energy. You don't have the desire. You're fucking, it's like you're, I don't even want to say a dead man walking because you're not walking that often. It can be terrible. It can be mild. It can be severe. And like I said, my friend's mom, hers is severe. Mine was pretty bad, but what did I do? I treated it with alcohol and cocaine. And I had a seizure from the withdrawal, all that stuff. You guys know the story, but it's bad. So anyway, again, I just trail off, guys. Jason, my point in all that is during that clinical depression, I was able to go to a doctor, a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. His name was Eric. And this guy, when we would have our sessions, I would sit on the couch. They all have that big, beautiful leather couch in their office, And he walked me through this exercise. I don't remember exactly how it went. I might have spoke about it on here before. I was telling Gunsmoke about it the other day. Kind of like hypnosis, where he tells you to close your eyes and clear your mind. And he has you walking up a staircase, a big, beautiful staircase with two huge, beautiful doors at the top. And you're supposed to picture yourself walking up this staircase. Slow, slowly, calmly. You get to the top and you open these two doors. And whatever you've ever dreamed of, anything you've ever wanted in life is inside this room. And it sounded to me like he was describing heaven. But I remember when I opened those doors, there was a half casino, half strip club behind those doors, and I couldn't have been happier. I said to Eric, if this is heaven, I got to go there, Don Berlin, effects of addictions are like the waves of the ocean. They come in and go out, but are always present. Well said, Don. My triggers are Friday after work, Friday was always my night to party. I struggled to go home and be sober on Fridays. Yeah, I feel you, man, because that's like a ritual type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whenever you're used to, like, some people are full-time alcoholics or drug addicts. They don't work, they don't do anything. I was like that when I was a teenager, when I went through the depression and all that stuff before the seizure. Some people have, like you have, kind of almost a schedule. You have it all worked out and you look forward to it. You know, I sold Coke to a kid. I told you every Thursday he would get paid. He'd buy the Coke because he couldn't wait to have it in his hands, but he wouldn't start doing it until after work Friday. And by Sunday, he was completely out of money. And he didn't care because it was his favorite thing in the world to do. You could see the excitement in his face every time I'd meet him on Thursday, you know? So I understand, man. See, I never really, I don't know if I had any triggers like that. My thing was, you know, I don't do anything half-assed. Like, it's one extreme to the next. I either don't use it all or I use fucking constantly like a motherfucker. There's no in between. So I never did like the weekend binging thing, the Friday after work thing. I did for a while, but that was one specific job before I had the heart failure. You know, I'd come home and I would fucking drink, but no liquor, 6-pack or 2. Then the next day I'd be in this 110-degree fucking warehouse and I'd be pouring sweat. My clothes would be soaked. People would be like, why the fuck are you sweating so much? It was the alcohol, but I wasn't telling them that. But I never really had that, Al. But I know a lot of people who have, man. It's hard because they had a certain day of the week or a certain time of day they'd use, or they just used on weekends. And now they have to learn how to live life without that. Now what do you do on Fridays? Now what do you do on weekends or, you know, after 5 o'clock every day? What do you do? It's hard, man. It makes it tough for people. That's part of what I call, you know, a mental addiction. It's different than a physical addiction. Physical addiction, you need it all the time. A mental addiction is, it's still extremely strong, that type of addiction. It can be worse than a physical. For me, it was worse because, or for me, it's worse because I never had the mental addiction. I could get physically detoxed and then not think about drinking ever, you know, at all, period, for years. But people who have a ritual like that, or people who just love coming home every day and cracking open a beer, or, you know, whatever it may be, going golfing, you just drink when you with your golf buddies, or doing, you know, whatever it may be, some sort of fantasy football, whatever. And now you got to do it without alcohol. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. See, like, I miss going out. You know, that's why up until a couple of months ago, you know, me and Shannon would go to the casino from time to time because it was our way of going out. You know, you get dressed nice, you go out, you have a nice dinner, and you go there and you get to be out till 2, 3 in the morning and you're not using any fucking thing, you know? But, you know, we kind of stopped doing that. So, but I don't really care. Like, it got so played out that now it's like, I don't even miss doing that. You know, I'm okay with, like, me and Shannon on the weekends. We'll just figure out anything, go out shopping, spend some money, have some fun. Take my stepson to fucking Dave and Buster's or something, shit like that. Thank you. Here's to my love. Yeah, absolutely. It does. It really does, man. Because you're in, you're driven. You know what I mean? You're in success mode. It's like, I want to make up for all that time I lost. So, you know, how much better can I make myself and how quickly can I do it? You know, because you want to make up. And not only that, but like family things. You know, my biggest thing was I wanted my family, to see me a year into recovery, 2 years, 3 years. Now in 6 days, it'll be 4 years. You know, I wanted them to see that this is for real. Like, I've entirely turned my life around. You know, it's not like when I used to just take breaks here and there. No, this is for real. Clean and sober is my way of life now, and it's how I plan on living and dying. So, you know, you get anxious. You want other people to see, but you at the same time, you don't want to rush it because that could be dangerous too. So it's like you have faith in yourself, you believe in yourself, and you do the best you can every day. We can't, go back into the past and change things. In some cases, we can't even make up for lost time. But we can make our future a hell of a lot better than our past was. That's for goddamn sure. It's the one thing you could do. That's why I tell people, I don't care if you're 70 fucking years old and you're still hooked on something. You can stop today, and by tomorrow, you'll have a better life. If you can do that, it depends on what you're on. But even, it's not a bit of an exaggeration. You can go to detox. Say you got the worst heroin addiction. You go to detox. Maybe go to treatment afterwards. Not everybody needs that. Some people do 7 days in detox. They can stay clean. But you go detox. Maybe you go to rehab afterwards. And when you leave there, whether it's detox or rehab, you got a new lease on life. Now you get to start over with a clear head, clean and sober. And there's nothing like it, especially after you've been hooked on something for so long and you know what it's like to wake up in that depression or that hangover or that fucking sick, physically sick state. You wake up and your fucking guts are turning upside down and you're fucking, your eyes are dry. You can barely open your eyes. And your fucking head, if you feel like you got punched in the face by Mike Tyson the night before, and you can barely stand up, and even that's after you convince yourself to get out of bed, because all you want to do is lay in your bed and die, because you have to deal with what the fuck binge you just went on and what might have taken place during that binge. It's a fucking nightmare. And then we all go into bargaining mode and shit, right? Or something. Like when I wake up like that every day, but when it was real bad periods, when I would go on a days long binge and I would wake up, like it would take me 2 days to recover. I would convince myself that I'm not going to use it. I shouldn't have. Bargaining is a bad word. You do that sometimes too. Well, this was because I used so much liquor. Instead of that, I'll drink beer now, whatever. There was one point, and me and my friends convinced ourselves that as long as we mix our liquor with Gatorade, we won't be hungover. And it does help to an extent, but not that much. But I would wake up feeling so bad that when I finally dragged myself out of bed, I'd say, okay, that's it. I'm done. No more. I will never use that shit again. I'll never take a sip of alcohol. I'll never do a line of Coke ever again in my fucking life. By the next day, if it even takes that long, you've already forgotten because you start to feel better and that leaves you. Those thoughts of quitting and shit. It's like, why should I do that? I feel fine now. Yeah, I hear that, Jason. It's good to learn some coping skills, coping mechanisms, stuff like that. It's good. It's good to have something, And that's a lot of, what you'll get taught in rehab, stuff like that. FBS had only worked for 3 years when he lost my dad. When we lost my dad, she started back and smokes worse than ever. Oh, really? Cigarettes? Yeah. Oh, well, listen, she lost her love of her life. I'm sure it's... listen, let's be grateful all she's doing is smoking cigarettes, because a lot of people couldn't handle that type of loss, Don Berlin, Kimberly by no means is here in the hood. She is laying by the ocean in Daytona Beach working on the book as she signed with a publisher. I'm here with the dogs eating from the same menu, send food. I hear you, bro. Well, I'm glad Kimberly's enjoying herself. And listen, you got the house to yourself, Don. It's party time. You just got to do it without alcohol or drugs. Just give me a time. You're only a couple hours away. I'll be there. No, Anastasia, no. I geek out, man. My heart gets out of control. Fuck that. It's a Trula trifecta. Cops smell it the minute you roll down the window. They sure do. Motherfuckers got noses like dogs. Anastasia, it's hilarious when slob tubes say you're high on coke. First, it's highly disrespectful to your sobriety, but there's no way you could be high on YouTube without us knowing. Haha, salute to your sobriety. I know, bro. It's just another thing they say. Thank you, Al. Cheap vodka smells gross. Well, that's what I drank. Cassier's vodka, $5.89 for a fifth. My God. Shit was like turpentine. Clinical depression is deadly. Don Berlin's smellless vodka, total myth, and especially when it's ingested a quart at a time. Next thing you know, booze ooze comes out through your skin, literally. Oh, for sure. I'm gonna... Oh, okay, I wasn't that far behind. I can go back up. I thought I was fucking 100 comments behind. Yeah, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Al Anastasia, these shows are something you should be proud of every week. I'm sorry. These shows you should be proud of, man. Every week I can tell you're passionate. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I am. You know, like I said, I don't think about it that much and I don't talk about it that much, but to me, that's a coping mechanism. You know, like when I said earlier that I don't focus on my recovery, I don't think about it that much. I'll tell you why. It's like smoking. You know what those commercials, you know, when they show somebody with the fucking voice thing who had a tracheotomy, whatever, and they, you know, all these terrifying commercials, this can happen, this can happen, you're smoking cause. You know what that makes me want to do? It makes me want to smoke because it stresses me out. You know what I'm saying? It's just a reminder. Like I've had times where I was doing pretty good. I'd cut down a lot. I see one of those commercials and I'm puffing away. To me, it's the same type of thing. Like, if I think about my recovery too often, I think about using too often. So I try as best I can to block it all out of my mind, you know, and I think that helps me stay clean and sober because I'm doing my best to just walk through life like any normal person who's never dealt with an addiction. It's not easy, but I think focusing on your addiction causes undue stress and could really help along inevitable relapse, you know, speed it up. So I don't know. Or even if it's not inevitable, it can just, you know, flat out cause one, I think. Because it's just like anything else. When you're stressed out about something, when you keep thinking about it, you know, it's in your head. You can't shake it. That's why I don't think about my health too much. I think about whatever's going on that day. What's happening today? I'm going to do a show. After that, I'll go out for a little, come home, eat something good, do another show. I'm done for the night. That's my day. That's what I think about. I don't think about recovery. I don't think about coke. I don't think about alcohol. I don't think about my health. I don't think about, you know, the future too much. It's not easy to be that way, but I'm very fortunate that I'm able to live like that, you know? Because like I said, man, the people with those mental addictions, the addictions like, you know, people who actually loved doing what they were doing, like drinking. I know people that love drinking. They love it. It's everything they do. They drink soon as they get off work till they go to bed. Sometimes they wake up and drink a beer before they go to work. Okay. On the weekends, they drink. At celebrations, they drink. During tragedies, they drink. It's just their favorite fucking thing to do. I know guys who can't drive without drinking. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. I had a friend that owned a piano moving company. I told you about this. And every now and then I would work with him. That motherfucker had so many DUIs, he couldn't drive his own trucks. Okay. So I would drive for him and he would pay me a really good bit of money, you know, just to drive him from state to state to drop off these pianos and shit. And he would have a cooler in between the two front seats in the truck on the two seats with a couple of 6 packs of Ice House in it. That was his thing. You know, all day, every day, he would drink while he worked, while he delivered pianos. And this guy's making $500,000 a year with his piano moving service. He's got 6 trucks on the road, but he was, you know, hands-on. He worked every single day. And I remember we would deliver these pianos and he would be pouring sweat, kind of like I said at that job I had. And it's because the beer is constantly coming out of him and you can smell it and everything else. People like that, man, it's tough. It's tough to stay clean. I was not like that. Drinking to me was always like a means to an end. It was when I started drinking, it was to, the clinical depression was so bad. Like I said, I couldn't even function in life. The anxiety started to kick in too. Not only am I clinically depressed, but now I'm starting to think there's things wrong with my body. I told you, hypochondria, you're insisting that you're dying, all this shit. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and go sit with my mom in the kitchen and just fucking, I'd wake her up. And I would just have to talk to her so she could convince me that what I think is happening to me is not happening. You can only do that for so long. So I just started drinking it away, and alcohol was like a cure. It was like, wow, I could sit here thinking that, I'm about to have a massive heart attack. I have a few drinks of this and I'm on cloud 9. So that's why I did it then. Then I started doing cocaine. Well, once you start doing cocaine, it's like cereal and milk. Most people have to drink. Not everybody, but most people have to drink just to calm you down from geeking out. It levels, each thing levels the other one out. You don't get too drunk because of the coke, and you don't geek out from the coke because of the alcohol. It goes hand in hand. And I would drink just so I could do more coke. And then for the longest time, I refused. It was like my bargaining in my head. I'm not just doing coke by itself. If I'm out drinking, I'll do some coke just so I don't get too drunk. It's the bargaining shit. So for the longest time, for years, I would not do coke unless I was drinking. So what do you think I started doing? I started looking for reasons to drink. I went from being at home every night. I would get done DJing, have a few drinks maybe, go home and go to bed and wake up at a normal time and do whatever I had to do for the day. Maybe go back the next night and DJ again, whatever. Sorry, guys, I lose my train of thought, as you know. But, oh, yeah, it went from that to, I would get wasted at the club while I was DJing, maybe even sneak some coke in the bathroom, whatever. But even if I didn't, 2:00 hit, I was out the fucking door. I mean, when I was DJing in Harrisburg for 18 months, I was DJing there, I believe 3 nights a week. And at one point, only Friday and Saturday. But either way, it didn't matter the night. It could be a Tuesday, a Friday, a Saturday, whatever. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I think I was doing for a long time. Cobblestones was Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Anyway, I would fucking, I'd hop in the car and I would haul ass on I-83 back to York, and I'd go straight to Ada's. I'd be at Ada's by fucking 2:35. And Harrisburg's about 30 minutes away. You know what I mean? So I'd be in there by 2:30, 2:35. I would haul ass. Actually, I'm lying. It was more like 40 minutes away, 45 at the time where I was living then. And I would go in Ada's, man. It was a VPA. It was a membership only club. Everybody knew each other. It was like York. It was like the Cheers of York City, even though York City actually has a Cheers. And I would go in there, man, and I was on, because not only did I have work with me, I would sell coke in there, but I would coke was. This Ada's was like Amsterdam. Anybody, like my man Cam was on the phone with me the other night. He could have told you about Ada's. It was known in York City. I mean, if you were a member at Ada's, you could sit in there and snort coke. You could sit there and eat a fucking a buffalo chicken wrap and then do lines off the fucking table. The drinks were like $1.65 for 151 in coke. They give you 6 ounces of 151 and a splash of coke. And you could get high. You could do whatever. The owners they were bookies. They were a little crooked themselves. If there was cops coming, they would get a tip. And they would let everybody know. If probation was coming through, they'd get a tip. They'd let everybody know. You know what I'm saying? And we would do our thing in there, man. And I would sell coke. I'd be fucking wasted by 4:30 a.m., 4:30. And then I had my little ducky route to get home. I wasn't far, 10 minutes from Ada's in Parkway, basically, North York. And, that became my thing. I looked for more and more reasons to drink, and mostly because drinking was my excuse to do coke. And then, I told you some stuff happened in my life, and for the first time ever, I'd done coke without alcohol. And then I was able to do that, but I still preferred to drink, you know. 'Cause you can only do so much coke before you have to calm yourself down. Hope I don't bore you guys with these stories. Citrullo trifecta. Oh my God, I lost the whole relationship because he relapsed on gambling. Thought it was okay because he didn't use drugs again. Yeah, see, that's what can happen. You know, you trade one addiction for another. See, I never had that problem. Like I said, we don't go anymore, but even when we did, I'm a cheap motherfucker. Gambling to me isn't really that much fun. You know, because it becomes like a job. Like when I enjoyed playing roulette, you know, I'd play $100 I'm not a gambler. You know what I mean? And sometimes it would last me a few hours. Depended. You know, if I was sometimes I'd lose it in 5 minutes and I'd just be done. But it became like a job. You know, like say I put 100 down, I get up to 400. Now I start losing. My head, the way it works is like, no. I'm not still ahead because I started with 100. Now I'm down because I have less than the 4 I was up to. So it becomes like a job to try to get back to that or to just try to stay even. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people do that. They relapse on gambling. Some people, it's sex. Some people, it's just a relationship. I've seen people become obsessed with another human being after they entered recovery because that person was their new drug. They couldn't see them enough. They couldn't talk to them enough, you know, and they would lose that person because they'd be so clingy. They'd be calling them fucking 500 times a day or insisting that they spend time together. You know, there's all types of ways, you know, people could relapse without doing drugs. You know, they could get hooked on something else really easily. Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Thank you. I'm doing my best like everybody else in here. This can't be wrong. You got clean, got married, got a home, taking care of your family, money in the bank. How many people can say all that? Yeah, you know, it's funny, and I see myself progressing all the time. You know, I'm finally rebuilding my credit. I have decent credit again. It's been a long time. You know, stuff like that. So life is good. It is. Hell, Anastasia, it's truly amazing how you can go on holiday vacation and not drink. You have cracked it, Chris. Well done. Made Shanna and your family proud. Thank you, Al. But I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if you've heard the stories, but holy shit, man. Especially that first trip last August to Miami. We stayed at the Hard Rock. And you know, the Hard Rock has those pools and you know, it's fucking paradise. You don't even have to leave the Hard Rock. Everything you have there, shopping, restaurants, fucking the casino, the fucking pools, you know, paddle boarding, every fucking thing you can imagine is right there in that place. It's fucking awesome. That's why it costs like $700 a night for the cheapest room. Man, we the last couple of days we were in the Hard Rock, we started going to the pools early in the day, like 11 a.m., noon, and that was tough. And I did a whole recovery, addiction and recovery show about it when I got home. Because we're in these pools. And you got to realize Shanna is clean and sober too. Shanna had her issues with drinking, you know, back in the day. But Shanna had gotten, you know, completely sober not long before I met her. So me and Shanna till this day have never seen each other in any type of inebriated state, you know, drunk, high, nothing, you know. So, you know, it's not easy for either of us. When you're in Miami and you're at the Hard Rock is in technically Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, whatever. But when you're there and you're in those pools and there's these beautiful fucking cocktail waitresses half dressed and they're fucking walking around with trays full of these ice cold fucking mixed drinks. It's like trays of pitchers full of these ice cold mixed drinks. It's like I froze up the first day. Shannon could tell you. I was just staring at, you know, this cocktail waitress was serving this group of guys and girls who were in the pool. You know, they bring it right to you in the pool. They each had a pitcher or some type of fucking ice cold frozen fucking, you know, fruity ass mixed drink. And I said to Shanna, I just want to fucking rip one of those pitchers out of one of their hands and just fucking guzzle it. It caught me for a minute, you know. There was another time we were in the Poconos. We went to you know, it's all inclusive. You pay a fortune. I'm trying to take Shanna back there very soon, actually. But you know, you go to these places like Pocono Palace and stuff. You're paying $500-600 a night minimum, but it includes dinner. So every night you go into their nice, beautiful like restaurant, banquet area, whatever you want to call it, and they feed you these fucking awesome meals, steak and whatever it may be. It may be seafood. Who knows? It depends on their menu that night. And we would go in there. And the first night we went in there was a table right behind us with two people who had these big, ice cold frozen mixed drinks. And I was like, oh my God. Not frozen, you know what I mean. And I was like, wow. The same thing. I froze up. That was probably the first time that ever happened with me and Shanna. And I said, Shanna, I just want to down I want to grab every one of those drinks off that fucking table and just shove them down my fucking throat, you know? So I do have times like that, but Al Anastasia, I'll tell you what it is. I'm no stronger than any of you guys. I'm telling you right now. I'm not. I never want to sound like I'm coming off that way. I'm not stronger than any fucking one. I'm not better at sobriety than anyone. It's simply this. I was a guy who lost everything, built everything back up, lost it, built everything back up, lost it again. Okay? I have gone through hell when it comes to shit on the streets, crimes, violence. I've been through you know, jail numerous times. I've been in the fucking psych ward, you know, and then look what I mean. At 19 years old, I spent, you know, 7 days in a coma because of the seizure I had from alcohol withdrawal, you know, and I had to be strapped down to a bed because when I came out of that coma, I kicked the nurse because I was having DTs. I thought it was somebody in the room trying to attack me. And I had to be strapped down for days. When I finally was able to leave the hospital, my muscles it was complete atrophy. I couldn't even fucking walk. I had to walk with a cane. So from a young age, you know, I've gone through hell with this. And then look, in 2014, I mean, I believe it was July 14th, maybe 12th, I think it was. You know, I suffered heart failure. I almost died. And I spent 12 fucking days in cardiac intensive care, critical condition. They told me, I had a woman do an echocardiogram on my heart and say, I have never seen a heart this bad. And I do echocardiograms on 90-year-old people. That's what she told me. They told me I was going to die at one point and that my family should come say goodbye to me. I'd be dead by midnight. You know, I lost my health right there. I have congestive heart failure till this day. I have issues with my heart all the time, you know. Then, you know, not long after I leave the hospital, I'm right back on the street selling coke and then doing coke and then drinking. You know, then I go to fucking jail because I get caught selling cocaine. Then I get out of jail and I'm at, you know, the job I got during work release, I'm working at a factory, and that factory is filled with drugs, drug dealers, and drug addicts. So I started selling coke again. Now I'm doing coke again. Next thing you know, some shit happens at the place I'm living. I wind up in a fucking hotel for 9 months. I mean, it's, put it this way. I truly believe that a lot of addicts have a form of PTSD from their addiction, the things they had gone through during their addiction. The things they put themselves through. And I feel that way about myself. I am so fucking terrified of being back there. Not just being back there. I'm so terrified of failing that I believe, and I don't want to fucking jinx myself, knock on wood. I believe that there's no situation I could be put in where I'll use. There's only one thing that scares me. Tragedy. Because one thing every single one of us right here knows is that at some point in the future, we are going to experience tragedy. And maybe more and more, you know, or I'm sorry, time and time again, you know, like it could be numerous tragedies. You never know what's going to happen by the time our life is over. How many people will lose? How many bad things can happen? You know, we're all going to go through that stuff. We are. Now, can I honestly tell you that when tragedy strikes that I won't use then? No. But I can tell you this, being around alcohol, being in restaurants where there's bars, being at the Hard Rock where there's fucking beautiful women with fucking pitchers of mixed drinks everywhere, I'm not using there. Sitting here, I'm never going to get up and go get some fucking liquor and a bag of Coke. I can guarantee you that. I know we're not supposed to say that. Okay, but I will tell you that. My greatest fear is tragedy. When tragedy strikes, I don't know how I'll handle that because I've never... See, I've done everything else without alcohol or drugs. I've experienced fun shit, traveling, casinos, whatever you want to say, good times, bad times. I've experienced all that without alcohol. I've never experienced tragedy without alcohol and cocaine, So that scares me. But listen, we aren't going to know till the time comes. And again, you can't worry about it because tragedy is going to strike eventually. I don't want to be a downer, but it's life, and we won't know how we handle it until then. It could destroy us, or maybe we'll be able to get through it. I just know that no temptation, no urge, no, everyday life situation or even occasional, situation like a celebration or something like that. I'm not going to relapse. I am terrified of failure. You have no idea. I refuse to fail. I made that decision in rehab. When I have dreams that I relapse, it fucks me up for an entire day. You can ask people that have been with me from the beginning. It fucks me up for an entire day because the feeling of, oh my God, even for 5 minutes after you wake up thinking, holy shit, I relapsed. It fucks with my head so bad. I'm terrified of having to start my clean time over. I just, and maybe I shouldn't say what I'm saying, maybe I shouldn't say never. A better way to say it would be that I've been in a lot of different situations since I got clean and sober. I've been in awesome places like Miami and Fort Lauderdale and the Hard Rock and shit like that and the Poconos and all this stuff where there's nothing but alcohol every fucking where you look. I've also been back in my city around friends who are lifelong drug dealers who I know at the time have cocaine in their pocket and in their house and every fucking thing else. And I haven't used yet since I got clean or had a drink. So that's why I say never, because I feel like I'm battle tested as far as that. But I know we should never say that. Anything can happen. I'm just telling you, I'm no stronger than any of you guys, man. Not at all. I think one of the things that helps me succeed is that I'm fucking nuts. I'm telling you the truth. I'm insane. I'm fucking OCD. I am fucking a type A personality. I am a perfectionist. I am a perfectionist. If I do recovery, I got to do it perfect. That's the way my mind works. It's like everything else. The picture on the wall has to be perfectly straight. The books have to be organized a certain way from biggest to smallest. Even when I get me and Shanny each a few packs of cigarettes, I should show you guys one day how I line them up. And if even one pack is a little bit off to the side, it'll make me crazy. I have to straighten out the whole line of packs of cigarettes. I mean, watching me hang a picture would drive you insane. It drives me insane. In 3 fucking weeks, I'll be looking, is that crooked? Is that... I still have shit in this house I look at. I can't figure out if it's fucking crooked or not. You know what I mean? It's the way I've always been in life. It's the way I've been in life with my appearance, with the way I dress, with my DJ stuff, you name it. So recovery to me, it's like I hold myself to a certain standard. I don't knock anybody. If you relapse, it's a part of fucking recovery. Don't beat yourself up. Even if you got to start your clean time over, oh well. All that matters is that after you relapse, you begin to get better again. You get back on track, and you have a future ahead of you because you plan on remaining clean and sober. For me, though, I can't even let relapse enter my mind. That's why I don't think about it. You know, I just can't. It'll drive me crazy. Also, let me tell you, as far as those situations like I was talking about at the Hard Rock and in the Poconos, I don't like that. You know, if I can make it so that everybody at that pool was sober and there was no alcohol around, I absolutely would. But I refuse to eliminate myself from certain situations and opportunities just because I have a problem. You know, I won't say, baby, you know, I'd love to go to the Hard Rock, but, you know, everybody's going to be drinking. I don't, you know, listen, when me and Shannon were going to the casino, the woman would bring around a car. It's not like in some casinos where the cocktail waitress comes around, drinks, and takes your order. No, in York here, there's women constantly bringing around carts full of everything from soda to beer to wine. I'd get a Coke, she'd get a Diet Coke. You know, there would be alcohol there. I'd be sitting next to people drinking all types of different shit. I don't like that, but I will not remove myself or condemn myself and say, no. You can no longer do these things because you don't drink anymore. I won't do that. I won't do that. So shit where, you know, maybe I'm in the danger zone, maybe I'm around drugs, maybe I'm around alcohol. I don't like it, but I'm not going to avoid it. Not if there's something I want to do in life. Not if this is some bucket list type of shit that I want to experience. You know, because depending on your recovery, you might have to deprive yourself from some things, but it's sad when you do, you know? It's sad. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Don't listen to me. I'm a fucking babbling idiot. Oh my God, Paul, are you serious? Hold on. I'll drop the link right now. What the fuck? I'm dropping the link right now. Holy shit. What's up, Ranger Fan 11? I gotta hear this now. I'm worried about Paul. Walt Liquor, I got addicted or obsessed with living sober and eating clean, exercising. Even too much of a good thing is bad. I started annoying people around me. I take it easier now. Yeah, we got to find that balance. You know, we got to find that balance in life with everything. It's a struggle, man, addiction and recovery. And even me, like all the stories I was just telling you and the way I see recovery, and I'm a perfectionist about it, and you know, I can't see failure, and I will not allow relapse to enter my mind. Guys, remember, I'm not giving you advice when I'm saying stuff. I'm just talking to you like friends. You know, I'm telling you how I feel about things. So don't ever listen to me and be like, oh, I got to be the same way. What if I fuck up? What if I... No. Because the bottom line is, even I know that if even I relapsed, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully it would be a night or something, and the next day I'd get back on track. And I would have to start my recovery time over, and I would have to, or, you know, clean and sober time, and I would have to accept the fact that I relapsed, and the people around me would too, but that's okay. You know, what's important is surviving, staying alive. So even if you relapse regularly, okay, if you went from using constantly to now being determined to stay clean and sober, but every now and then you slip, you can't beat yourself up or look at yourself as a failure. You're not a failure. It's literally expected. Now, that's also not an excuse to go out and use, because you could say, hey, how could they blame me? It's a part of recovery. No, but I mean, if you legitimately just slip and you fall back into it, even if it's for a short period of time, you know, don't give up. Don't say, oh, well, there's no point in getting sober again. No. I just tell you, you know, I'm a talker, guys. I get started on something, I'm on a roll. Sometimes I probably say shit I shouldn't, but I do my best on here for you guys, you know? Where is Paul? I want to hear what Paul has to say. Tony Ducks, you've got a great support system around you, FBS, so during that tragedy, you lean on them. Yeah. Yeah, that's what, yeah. I'm very lucky, guys. That's why I say even again, with not being any stronger than you guys, a lot of you guys are in a worse situation than me. I could have fucking left that rehab and been back on the street or been alone. You know, listen, and I don't believe in God. I don't believe in angels. Okay, but something I think seems to put the pieces together at times, whether it's, the universe, whether it's a guardian angel, I don't know what it may be. But sometimes everything just falls into place and you're saved, or a miracle happens. And what happened to me is a miracle. Okay. And I don't mean in a religious sense. Okay. It's like, I don't know. You know what I'm not a perfect atheist either. Bottom line is, I got to go to a luxury rehab that I loved. I loved so much that not only did I not think about leaving, I was terrified of leaving. I loved it so much. While I'm there, I meet a nurse. Within 9 months or so of leaving there, I get married. Now I'm in a new town, in a new home, and I kind of got a clean slate. So now, I'm not in the position some people are. Like, I use War for an example sometimes. War stays clean and sober, and he's alone, and he lost his wife. I hate to, I'm not trying to bring War down. I don't like talking about shit like that with other people, but he's told his story. He lost the love of his life, and he's alone, and he manages to stay clean and sober. That's strength. The bottom line is, the biggest test I've really been put to, yes, you know what I mean, being put to the test. The biggest challenge I've had to face is being around alcohol while I'm in the middle of a beautiful vacation or something. I haven't been alone. I haven't dealt with tragedy. I haven't struggled financially. You know what I mean? So it's just easier for me. And that's why I have guilt about it sometimes. Because I know that most of the people in this chat aren't as fortunate. People, a lot of people have a lot harder shit to deal with than I fucking do. So, I almost feel guilt sometimes about the fact that it's semi-easy for me to stay clean and sober. But whatever the fuck is in charge out there, maybe it's just, I don't know, the force of the universe. I have no idea. The way I see it, I'm supposed to be exactly where I am right now. I could be wrong, but it certainly seems that way. I used to believe in guardian angels. And I think to an extent, I still do. And I know what you're going to say. How do you not believe in God or angels, but you believe in a guardian angel? First of all, I'm not sure I do, but that is an idea that I'll allow into my mind. I don't allow the idea in my mind that there's a God looking over all of us. I've you know what I mean? I've unsubscribed from that that notion. But the guardian angel thing, I'll tell you why I still kind of believe in that. Because I am somebody who should have been dead at the age of 19. I've committed crimes that I should still be in prison for if I got caught and convicted. Okay? Time and time again, I've faced death in different situations. I've been shot at, I've been robbed at gunpoint, I've been beaten half to fucking death. I've been in and out of the hospital because of addiction issues, heart issues, the psych ward, you fucking name it. But something always seems to come along and rescue my ass. Not something I can see, not something I can hear, but it's like something just puts all the pieces in place. Even if it's at the very last minute on the brink of destruction, on the brink of death and destruction, and like where, that's it. There won't even be another day. This is it for you. You're finished after today. Something seems to come along and save me, and it's been my whole life. Sometimes it's a person. Sometimes I'll have something in my life that I just can't get through on my own. I just can't get through it on my own, and I need someone to save me. And boom, it's like that. A person always shows up. I can't tell you the different times where I've met a new friend or something like that, and that person just happened to be exactly what I need in my life at that very moment. I think a lot of us have that. I don't know. But if you're going to say next, well, then you must believe in God. No, because I know too many people who don't have that. Like, I know people who should have died, or I'm sorry, I know people who died from the same thing I lived through. I survived it, they didn't. You know what I mean? I've always been rescued by something in my life. Some sort of miracle has always taken place, and yet they have suffered, and they never catch a break. So I just don't believe it's an almighty power helping us all at the same time. I just don't. I think it's something personal. I don't know. Maybe it's just luck. Who knows? Thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong. You're the best. Yes, Chris Parks, I agree. And I'll tell you, my relapses in life were always due to something like, not always a tragedy, but a major life change. Like losing a job I loved. Stuff like that. I don't know. Time will tell. Yeah, Miss Can't Be Wrong. It's a bitch, right? And it's good to be that way, I guess, but at the same time, it's not easy. Paul, what happened? What happened to your daughter? I dropped the link. Would you please come on and tell us? If not, it's okay. It's okay. I'll try to. Let me go back in the chat and see what you said. My daughter had to be brought back to life this week. I'll be quick. You don't have to be quick. You can come on here as long as you want. The link is in the chat. Let me see more comments. Wow, it's a new drug the youngins are doing called Fanta. Only a few mills get you wasted. So dangerous. She was in a coma for 2 days. Oh my God, Paul, I'm so fucking sorry. Gee, at least she's okay. Thank God. Well, it's an expression. She's okay. That's devastating. I can't even imagine what you went through and what you're probably still going through. Holy shit. Wow. I never heard of Fanta. GHB is also known as fantasy, grievous bodily harm, GHB, liquid ecstasy, liquid EG, or Gina. Here's Paul right here. Paul, how are you?
Yeah, I've been better, mate. I've been better.
What happened?
There's this shit getting around in Perth. It's a cocktail of industrial cleaners, and they cook it up, and you only need a few mil, and it gets them fucking drunk really quick, and like drunk and fucking stupid and that. And I know she's been using it here and there, but yeah, she went over and fucking all her mates were fucking left her for dead. They're fucking posing her in photographs, like strangling her and stuff, and fucked off, left her. And then ambulance came, and when we got there, she died, mate. She died on the gurney, and so they did all the resuscitation shit, and so she had tubes in her fucking mouth, and drips in her arm and all that for 2 days, like induced coma, fucking. And yeah, well, she's alive. But I just wanted to say that I don't know if they've got this in the States, but it's like it's way stronger than this fentanyl I've been hearing about. You only need like 1 meal will get you drunk, 2 meals will kill you. You know what I mean? So
I'm so sorry, Paul, to hear this. This is terrible. Is she's okay now?
well, her pride's been a lot. You know, she feels like a fucking idiot, and you know, and it doesn't help me I'm calling her the undead. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. I said, like, you're like you're in Pet Cemetery now. I don't know what you are. Are you my daughter still, or are you some fucking monster? You know, fucking. I'm trying, but yeah, I've had a nephew that was in a coma with it too a few months back. It was he was in a coma for a week though.
Jesus. Well, just be there for her, man. I mean, that's terrible. I'm sure she's punishing herself enough for it.
Well, that's my good news from Australia anyway. So, how's your well, over there all good, eh?
I'm sorry, you cut out. What'd you say? What'd you say, Paul?
Is everyone over there doing all right?
Yeah, as far as here, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, everybody's good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's industrial floor cleaners. I don't know the recipe, but they cook it up and it's like it's not cheap either, you know. So it's got me fucked. So yeah, but she's alive and. Yeah.
Is she gonna have any permanent health issues because of this?
Well, not brain damage because like she was straight back with us, like bang, like there's only seconds she flatlined for. I don't know. She's not going to use it anymore. She's promised me, but I don't know what she's going to do.
That's horrible, Paul. I'm so sorry you and your family are going through this.
Oh, she's 26. She should know better, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway, I won't hold you up. I just wanted to say that you know, I love your addiction shows. They're really good. I don't say much. It's the first time I've ever commented on it, but you know, it's embarrassing. You know, it's like my name's Paul. I'm a drug addict type of.
No, you're more than welcome on anytime, Paul. You're currently in recovery?
Yeah, I've been off the gear for years, but when I got to come out of the hospital yesterday, I just went and got a shot. I couldn't fucking handle it, eh? So that's fucked me up. I was like 3 months clean or something, but I've been using like on and off like a month, once a month, you know, for the last 30 years. You know, it's not a lot, but it's still there. You know, it's still like you know, you go about a month and then you do it. You know. So 30 years I've been a fucking slave to this shit, you know. But I can't afford it because I've got 6 kids. So once a month I treat myself, and it's still being addicted though, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess if you feel like you need it, yeah, it is. But listen, Paul, it could also be a lot worse. I mean, you never beat yourself up about any of this, you know. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good that you don't have a fuck ton of money to spend on this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to be funny, but sometimes not having the resources is the best thing for you.
That's right. You know, fucking that is right. Like my wife always said, if you lived in America, you'd be dead. She reckons. Like we hear about all these nickel and dime bags. You know what I'm saying? It's not that cheap.
Oh my God! Yeah, everything. It doesn't take much. You could get $5 fucking. You could wind up killing yourself by accident. Yeah, it's scary, man. What part of Australia are you in?
I'm in Perth. It's on the west coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the most isolated city in the world. There's like 3,500 kilometres between here and the next city, which is Adelaide. And if you take the same distance anywhere else, you'll probably cross over 20 cities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I am. Fucking MH370s around here somewhere, I reckon, in the ocean. So yeah, fucking Perth's fucking. It's small, but it's got all the problems of any other big city.
Did you say Perth? Perth?
Yeah, Perth.
Yeah, Perth.
Perth.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
There's a Perth in Scotland and there's a Perth in Australia.
What type of drugs are most common there?
Ice is a big one. It's overtaken from heroin. And you got people take a lot of rohypnol, and that's a big one. That's like the date rape drug over here. Barbiturate. And you got the Aboriginals. They love sniffing petrol, you know. So but marijuana, you know, got marijuana, ice, and heroin. You know, we haven't got that fentanyl stuff over here. Acid's hard to get, so there's not much of that. But marijuana grows everywhere here. Fucking, it's all over the place. So
Yeah.
I don't smoke.
Well, stay strong, Paul. You know, you don't do anything to make it worse. That's all I can say. Don't let this bring you to a dark place, bro.
No,
Just
I'll
be
be right.
listen. Be grateful she's okay, you know, and enjoy every minute you have with her. You know.
No worries, bro. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
I hate to see you like this, Paul.
Oh, it could be worse, you know. It could be a car accident where she's been maimed and scarred or crippled, or you know. So I'm thinking in those terms. So you know, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, all that matters is she's alive and okay. You know.
Yeah. I've got six kids, and I've only got one at home now. I've got a 14-year-old girl at home now. She's the last one. And when she pisses off, that's it. I'm going bush. That's it. I'm finished.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Say that again.
When my 14-year-old moves out of home, I'm going bush. That's it. I'm finished. I've had 6 kids, you know.
Yeah.
Going from 36 to 14.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, listen, Paul, thank you for coming on. You're welcome on anytime. I appreciate you sharing that story with us. It's a horrible tragedy, but I'm just so glad she's okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. God bless America and all the rest, and God bless Australia. And I'll catch you in the usual places. All right.
All right. Sounds good, Paul.
All right, mate.
All right,
see you guys.
All right, that's fucking terrible. That's I couldn't imagine what he went through, you know, and what he's still going through. Because you know he's got to be terrified, you know. If this happens once, I'm sure he's worried about it happening again. But yeah, the best thing he could do is just don't be mad at her. Just be there for her. You don't wanna put any stress, any extra stress on somebody who just went through something like that, you know. And these days, you know, as sad as it is, if somebody ODs or has an experience like that, I mean, you just got to be grateful that they're alive, because all this different stuff is killing so many fucking people so quickly. Now, I'm not familiar exactly with Fanta. I don't know. I'm looking it up. One thing I saw said they seem to be categorizing it as GHB. Man, that's coming up as fantasy, actually. I can't find anything on Fanta. What is the street name? Fanta. It says GHB is also known as fantasy, grievous bodily harm. GHB, liquid ecstasy. Liquid EG or Gina. I don't know. But there's all this shit. There's this trank dope, of course, the fucking fentanyl. There's even heroin, even if it doesn't have fentanyl in it. I mean, the fucking different shit people cut it with and everything. And even coke. Like you got to be fucking insane to do cocaine right now. I mean, that's another thing I think that's going to help me stay clean is, listen, I did coke because I felt like I could survive it, I wouldn't feel that way anymore. I'd be too scared. Like, what if I do this bump just because I want to have a little fun? Nobody will know, whatever. And then I drop fucking dead. I can't. Sorry, guys. I'm behind on my water intake for the day. All right. Well, listen, guys, I think I'm going to end it on that note. As always, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Stay strong. Don't let anything derail you from the progress you're making. And remember these phone numbers right here: National Addiction Hotline and Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Keep these numbers close. Keep them on the fridge. Keep them in your pocket. Keep them in your man bag, your purse, your wallet, your fanny pack. If you're a kangaroo who lives near Paul Atkinson in Australia, keep it in your pouch. That's good to hear, Paul. All right, guys. Thank you for everything. I'll probably do a regular show tonight, We'll see. Thanks for everything. I love you all. And until next time, salute.